The lesson learned from the story of the little Princess Sally is that the world does not last forever. He was poor and became rich, or he became rich and became poor, and that pure friends do not separate them. For money, no matter how their circumstances and financial conditions change, this does not affect their relationship with those they love, or envy and evil harm its owner. As we learn from the story of little Princess Sally, that man in this life, he must try to stand in the face of obstacles and difficulties, no matter how harsh they are. That the day comes when life smiles at us. Sally remained in this condition as a servant in the boarding school in which she was studying until the death occurred. That changed her life forever, as the story of the little princess reached one of the father's friends. The ancients who were looking for her everywhere to be the sole heiress of the largest diamond mines in India, and thus Sally returned to what she was before her father's death, from bliss, and used the money that had fallen into she owned her property in helping the poor, meeting their needs, and standing by the needy, and she lived a life full of righteousness, comfort and security. One day, while her father was in India, away from her boarding school in London, her father was afflicted with a serious illness, which led to his death instantly, and this matter led to a reversal in her condition. Although she was deeply saddened by the loss of her father, Miss Minchin was not kind to her, and with the death of her father, Sally, the child had lost the reason for which Miss Minchin was so tender and cared for her, and the effect of humiliation directly on the story of the little princess, as the matter developed to the extent that Miss M. We ask Sally to work as a maid in the school and live the life of the poor until she can secure some money for being able to move on in this life. Gathered around her good friends who loved her kindness and spontaneity, and at the same time some people who sought to harm Sally appeared and called her with some of the qualities through which they showed gloat over her after she changed her condition. Days passed and her father had to leave London back to India to complete work with a friend there. As her father worked as a dealer in a diamond mine, and he had a huge financial fortune. The boarding school in which Sally was studying gave Sally special treatment, and she was now called I Am Not Happy, and Sally has tried to relieve herself of her estrangement from India and her distance from her father by staying. She made some friends from the environment that surrounded her at school, and her most important friends at that time were Lottie and A. Rumengard, along with her servant Becky and Peter her coachman, and Sally at that time distinguished from the rest of the schoolgirls in terms of external appearance. She was wearing the most beautiful clothes which her father used to send her from India, and this made some girls in the school inside they envied her for her ease and wealth, and the most important of them was a girl named Lavinia, who was the focus of evil in the story of the little princess. The story of little Princess Sally revolves around a beautiful 10-year-old girl who lives with her father, and her mother lived a life full of love and safety in one of the regions of India. Her parents were healthy and well until the day came when her mother fell ill with a serious illness, and her condition began to worsen. A day later, until she passed away after a short period of time, Sally grieved for her mother, just as her father grieved for her. Because of the loss of his wife, he moved with his daughter to live in London, away from the airspace of India that binds them. Sally's mother, and after they arrived in London, her father started working all the time and was afraid for Sally that she would die. He was left alone at home or he would miss her education, so he decided to enroll her in a boarding school, because of her father was busy with work and could not see his little girl except during vacations.